Well, gotta make this video, gotta explain some stuff. Yeah. Uh, so, a little bit of bad news, but hey, it probably hurts me more than anybody else, so that's at least good. It's not hurting you guys. Too bad, nothing to worry about. So, if you guys have been watching the channel, if you guys have been following, you guys know that I've been taking up wrestling training and working towards doing a match so that I could make video about it and all that. In my previous video, I talked about how I had my first match, which was not a real match. It was just a practice match, but we did have a ref and had a whole thing with it. Yeah. Unfortunately, the following week, after that week of training, ended things with me and my wrestling career there. Yeah, gonna have to drop the whole thing, gonna have to drop the idea. It's not happening. Just a real shame, but yeah. The way things went down, it's just not gonna work out, and I'm gonna get into some of the details of what exactly happened with that and why it fell through. So, let's get into this. Okay. First of all, when I started this, when I first got into wrestling, I made a deal with my parents that I would only do it if I knew that I would be safe through all of it. I want to protect my head, protect myself. I have minor epilepsy, so messing with my head could be very problematic if that's the case, so I would only do the wrestling if I knew I could be safe throughout it. And throughout this wrestling training, 3 situations occurred where things got a little dicey, and 3 strikes and you're out. That's just how it went down. So, let me explain some things about what happened here. The best way to describe things, before we even get into those 3 situations, the best way to describe my experience with this wrestling training is, it was really an abusive relationship in which I enjoyed doing the wrestling, and I enjoyed the people I was training with for the most part. We'll get to the details, but yeah, for the most part I enjoyed the people I was training with, and I was enjoying the training itself. But there were issues that were present the whole time. I just tried to ignore them. Which, that's just textbook abusive relationship stuff where you just pretend the bad stuff. Oh, that's not there, that's not happening, what are you talking about? It's just all good. Let's ignore the bad stuff. Well, the bad stuff's not even happening, what are you talking about? But it was there the whole time. So let me get into a little bit of the details of that. So there were 2 instructors teaching the wrestling stuff, and neither of them were very good. They weren't good instructors. It's important to note that when you're teaching something, there's both knowing the subject, knowing what you're teaching, and then there's knowing how to teach. There's 2 elements to that. You can know everything about a subject and still be a shitty teacher because you're just bad at teaching. And that was kind of the problem here. Both instructors knew their stuff, they were just not good teachers. They just didn't know how to teach. And yeah, maybe if you're gonna be teaching stuff, if you're gonna be instructing, you should probably learn how to teach people. You should probably learn how to get stuff across, how to effectively push people in the directions you want them to go, how to communicate effectively, how to really get things across and understand what you're doing. Understand how to get people to do what you want them to be doing. If you don't get that, if you can't get it, if you can't teach people, you can't get them to do what you want them to do, you're not doing your job. You're not being a good instructor. You're not getting it. Gotta work on that. So that was pretty much the only issue with one of them, was just he wasn't a good instructor. Both instructors knew their stuff, but neither of them were good, and that was the only problem with one of them, was just he just wasn't a good instructor. But as for the other instructor, who unfortunately was also the one who ran the entire establishment, he was just an asshole. He was just awful. It's clear he was just an angry person, just a bitter, angry person who just wanted to take his anger out on everybody else. He had zero patience, he had zero respect for anybody, and it was just a big mess. And that's something to take note of. If you have no patience, if you have anger issues, if you throw temper tantrums like you're a 5-year-old, and you refuse to respect people, you have to give respect to get any respect. If you don't give people respect, they're not going to respect you back. That's how it goes. If you have no patience, no respect, throw temper tantrums like a toddler, you should not be an instructor. You have problems to work through. You're not ready to be an instructor. Work on that before you start teaching people and start bitching everybody down and freaking out. So yeah, throughout the time wrestling there, some of the things to note, he said, you're shit, you're awful. These weren't always all directed to me, but these are some of the things he said. Yeah, you're shit, you're awful, I can't deal with your dumbass right now, you're a jackass, I want to beat the fuck out of you right now, and, you're gonna have to put more effort in to toss his fat ass. All real quotes that he said. Not always directed at me, but some of them were, and some of them, yeah. Pretty much all of them were directed either towards me or other inexperienced people, because there was definitely an element of, he harassed the inexperienced people a lot more than he harassed the experienced people, which I get. The experienced people get it, and the inexperienced people don't understand things as much, but that's just how things go. We have to learn. We have to do it quite a few times to really get things. You can't expect us to just get it immediately. And like I said, he had zero patience for that, so he really ripped into us for that. So yeah, that was all stuff he said to us, was a real dick about everything, and I also think it's interesting to note, like, he did not just say, when we did a move and did it bad, he didn't just say, oh, that move was bad, oh, that move was shit. He said, you are shit. You are awful. You suck. And yeah, that's not really a good thing to say to your students. You shouldn't say they suck. You can say, yeah, you did that move wasn't the best. Critique the move, don't critique the person. But no, that's what he did. He would freak out and be like, you're shit, you suck, you're a jackass. All that stuff. Not a good look. Also, yeah, that quote, "I want to beat the fuck out of you right now." Real quote. I don't think you should talk about wanting to fight your students. You probably shouldn't do that. You probably shouldn't talk about how you literally want to fight your own students. Not a good look. Not good stuff. Yeah. So, that's been a thing the whole time, was he was always an asshole, but I ignored it for a long time, just tried to pretend that wasn't an issue because I was enjoying the actual wrestling stuff and enjoying working with the people I was working with. So I just ignored that part, but maybe I shouldn't be ignoring that, because that's always going to be a constant thing. So, as I said before, the inexperienced people got a lot more harassment than the experienced people, because the instructors just wanted us to get shit immediately. They had zero patience, they just wanted us to get it immediately, and if you didn't get it immediately, they would be pissed off and angry at you, and would just start ripping into you. And I just believe they had some kind of assumptions of us that maybe we weren't working hard enough, we weren't doing all we could, even though we definitely were. We were trying our hardest, we definitely cared about what we were doing, and we're putting as much effort as we could into it. We just struggled a little bit because this is new to us. We're trying to figure this out, but they just wanted us to get shit done, and even if we were just slightly off with something, they would freak out on us. Which is just dumb. But that's how it was. What also happened is, if we ever got in trouble, see, like I said, he harassed the inexperienced guys, and we just had to take that. We could never say anything about anything. We just had to shut up, take the harassment. If they were saying something to us, if an experienced person was giving us advice, anything like that, we just had to take what they say yes sir, and just do it, just keep going, and not question anything. Don't say anything. And for me personally, that's fine. I have been in the martial arts world for a long time, so I'm kind of used to just standing there, doing what I told, yes sir, and just going along with it, no question. That's fine. But most of the time, yeah, before in the martial arts world, when I would do that, things would be fine. As in, guy gives me advice, I say, yes sir, and then, oh, what do you know, that advice actually worked out and was actually good. Good thing I listened to him. But here, that wasn't always the case. Sometimes we would get poor advice, and we just had to listen to what they say, do it, and then if we suffered some kind of consequence from it, you can't say anything about it. You can't say, hey, I think you're wrong about this, maybe we should do it this way instead. Nope. Can't say anything like that. You just have to shut up and take whatever they're saying, because if you ever open your mouth about something, you would get in a lot of trouble. You would either get bitched down, maybe told, get the fuck out. That happened a few times. If you want to bitch, get the fuck out. Or, if it was bad enough, they would put you in a corner, put you in one of the corner of the rings, and they would chop you. Now, a little bit of details about that. In an actual performance, in an actual match, the goals with the chops is not to actually hurt your opponent, it's actually to make kind of a cup thing with your hand here and make a loud noise. Maybe you'll leave a mark on your opponent, but it's not, your goal isn't to just hurt your opponent, it's to make a loud sound, and sometimes that hurts your opponent less because you're making that sound. You know, the focus on making that sound hurts your opponent less. But in these moments when someone was getting punished, your goal was to hurt your opponent. It was hit them as hard as you can and if an instructor saw you hit somebody and you didn't hit them hard enough, well, somebody else is going to come up and hit that person, and now you are also going in that corner and taking a hit for not hitting that other person hard enough. So you just had to shut your mouth, take what they said, or maybe you would get chopped in a corner, slapped in a corner. And there's nothing you can do about it. So, all of that is just what was going on, and I'm just saying all this to just lay down the groundwork to help you guys understand, like, the atmosphere, what was going on, the type of environment we're dealing with here, what was all going on during the wrestling training there. So yeah, a lot of aggression, a lot of getting bitched down, stuff like that, and threats of you will get whacked hard in a corner if you step out of line. So do what you're doing, do your best, and if you fuck stuff up or open your mouth or any of that, you're getting hurt. And that's that. So, 3 situations occurred. The first one that happened, we were working on a sequence of moves, and it ended in a drop kick. Which, I think most people know what a drop kick is, but if you don't, it's person jumps into the air and kicks you with like their full body coming at you and kicks you in the air, and they fall to the ground as they're doing it. And typically a drop kick goes to the chest. Keep that in mind. So, yeah, running through a sequence of moves, and it ends with a drop kick. And this was the first time I've ever done that before. It was the first time I've ever taken a drop kick, first time ever giving a drop kick. I've never done any of this before. And instead of breaking things down for the new people or any of that, the instructors just wanted us to get a full sequence immediately. They weren't going to break things down step by step. They weren't going to do any of that. They were just like, no, just go do the sequence, just go do it. And if you tried to break things down, slow it down, you might get bitched down. So I was partnered with somebody, and we ran through the sequence, ran through all the moves, and then ends with a drop kick, and guy goes for the drop kick on me, and bam! I get kicked right across the face, just like that. Bam! Right there. And I drop back to end the sequence. That's how it ends, with me dropping back. And everybody checks on me to make sure I'm okay. I just got kicked in the face by someone's full power, full weight into a kick right across my face like that. Everybody checks on me except for the person that actually kicked me in the face. And the instructor, while everybody's checking on me, the instructor says, "God damn it, no, get up and do it again. What the fuck was that? Go do it again." So, I listen to the instructor, I get up, me and my partner get up, we go, and we run through the sequence again. This time, I put my hands up, and bam, take a kick there, but hey, I had my hand up, so less problematic that time. And that time he was fine with it, which is interesting because I literally changed up nothing from what I did the first time. The only difference was I put my hands up. So if that was the problem the first time that he was so pissed off about, I don't get why he was so upset about it. The only person it's hurting is me not having my hands up. I'm the one that got kicked across the face like that. And even then, in a performance, if anything, that'll make it look even better because, wow, that guy really did just kick the other guy right across the face. Makes it look even better, And yet, I got bitched down for it. Not sure why, but that's what happens. So yeah, got kicked across the face. The instructor was bitching at me, and the person that kicked me in the face didn't seem to care that he kicked me in the face at all. Whatever. I got a drink, got out the ring, got a drink of water, was fine, and continued from there on. I bit my cheek, I believe, during that. I bit my cheek, and there was like a little bit of blood after that kick, but I was all good. It was all fine, but not a good thing. Like I said, I have minor epilepsy. I want to protect my head, and I got whacked in the head. So let's not do stuff like that. That's obviously not good. So that was the first situation, but hey, accidents happen. It was just one thing, right? Then we get to the second situation. So, the second situation, we were working on a move called an atomic drop, which is basically you lift your opponent up and drop them on their knee. You just lift them up for a bit and drop them on their knee, and it looks like you're kneeing them in the balls, essentially. You're lifting a guy up and kneeing them in the balls. So yeah, I think you guys get the idea of it from there. So, once again, this is my first time ever taking and doing any of the atomic drops, so here I am doing it for the first time. Once again, they didn't really break things down. They went pretty fast with me. So here I am doing it for the first time. And during it, I was doing something called selling, which is basically acting out the scene as if it's real, which typically, it depends on the person, but typically it was commonplace for us to do that while we were practicing some of the moves, is to actually act as if, you know, it really did hurt and all that, because obviously in an actual performance you have to do that. You have to act through all of it. You get slammed and you have to be like, oh, you got me. Somebody hits you with something, you have to be, oh, you know, you gotta make it look real. So I was selling it as if this guy pulled a fast one on me and I was actually shocked, so I gave a shocked expression of like, oh, as he was going for it. And when he dropped me on his knee, his head went up and I was like, oh, and his head bopped my chin like that, and I cracked a tooth in the back of my mouth during that. So yeah, up and bam, right to the chin there. Cracked a tooth. Had to get that filled in. That wasn't cool. But as it was happening, after he whacked my chin, he actually did check on me, made sure I was okay, and everything was fine. It was all good. It wasn't too bad there, and I was glad that the person that actually hurt me actually checked on me this time, so that was nice. But yeah, chipped a tooth, had to get that filled in. That sucks. And they told me after I got clocked in the chin like that, hey, when you're taking this, make sure your chin's up. You can even maybe push off the guy if you want to. 2 hands on the guy and push off. If you want to, taking it, you know, make sure you're not there, because keep in mind, this guy's head is coming up after he's bopping you on his knee. His head's coming up, so you gotta make sure your chin's out of the way. Thanks for telling me after I got clocked in the chin like that, guys. Should probably say that before. But yeah. That one wasn't too bad, but did cost me a visit to the dentist and a filling and all that, so not fun. So yeah, that happened. And once again, the instructor didn't give a shit about what happened to me, whatever. He just wanted the move to be done. So, 2 situations in which my head area has been hit in a situation when it didn't need to be hit, and the instructor didn't give a shit. And in one situation, the guy hurting me didn't give a shit. In the other situation, the guy did and made sure I was alright. Yeah, but already not the best look. So then we get to the third situation. So the third situation, we were running through a sequence of moves that ends with a drop kick again. You can probably see where this is going. So, I was partnered with somebody. We ran through the sequence, ends with a drop kick, and what I did, going through the sequence, I put my hands up here to protect my head when he's going for that drop kick, and he kicks me in the chest. Because that's where the kick is supposed to go, just the chest. Kicks me in the chest. I have my hands up here, kicks me in the chest, I drop back to end the sequence. All good. Then, the guy from issue number 1, the guy that kicked me in the face, comes up to me and he says, "Hey, that was good, but why are you putting your hands up here? He's just kicking you in the chest. It looks fake and obvious. It looks like you're covering your head. You don't need to be doing that. He's just kicking you in the chest. Nobody's gonna kick you in the face. Don't worry about it. Don't put your hands up." Already, it's like, wow, you have the audacity to say something like that after you were the guy that kicked me in the face. But alright. I'm the less experienced person. I can't say anything, so I just go, "Oh, okay, thank you, I'll do that." So then, I get partnered with him, and we run through that sequence. I take his advice. My hands are not up. He drop kicks me, and what do you think happens? Bam! Kicked right up there. Yeah, it was like right to the jaw and to the side this time. The first time it was like across this time, bam, to the chin there. Up and across there. Yep, kicks me right in the face, and I don't know if the camera can see it, but there's still a little scar on my tongue from me biting my tongue when he kicked me there. Bam! So, what happened after that? Well, history repeated itself. Everybody checked on me, except for the person that kicked me. So then, the guy that just kicked me, yeah, he sees that everybody's checking on me, making sure I'm all good, and he says, "Oh, I kicked you in the face? Oh, dude, put your hands up here. What, didn't they teach you that?" So, buddy, you told me not to put my hands up, and then you kicked me in the face. You told me no one was gonna kick me in the face, and then you kick me in the face, and then you blame me and say, "What are you doing, dumbass? Why didn't you cover it up? Didn't they teach you that?" Obviously, I was very upset with this guy, very angry, especially considering a dropkick should go to your chest. There is no reason to be hitting my face. Why have you hit my head multiple times? So, I go outside the ring, take a sip of water, drink a little water, make sure I'm all good, and I'm thinking about what to do. Because I'm like, okay, I can't work with this guy anymore. He is clearly unsafe. He's clearly hit me multiple times, and he's clearly a dick who's gonna blame it on me if I get hurt during a stunt. So, what do? Do I just say, hey, I don't want to work with you? Do I say something to the instructor? What do? I'm the inexperienced guy. I have no say in any of this, so if I tried saying anything to anybody, I'm probably just gonna get in trouble. What do I do? Maybe I could just go in and try not to get partnered with him, and if I did, just say, hey, can I work with that guy instead or something? Maybe I could try doing that. I don't know. And as I'm thinking about these things, instructor says, hey, Nick, what the hell are you doing? Get your ass back in the ring. So, okay, not very cool. I just got kicked in the face. He saw that, he was aware of it, and still, I guess I was waiting too long on the outside. I better get my ass back in there. But okay, I say yes sir, I get back in, follow it, and I run through the sequence again with somebody else, and craziest thing happened. They kick me in the chest, completely safe, no issue. So at that point, I've made my decision. Okay, it's clear that they do not care about my safety. They don't respect me or my wishes at all. They have zero respect for me or my wishes, don't care about my safety, and don't want to hear anything I have to say. If I was to say anything about this person hurting me, I would get in trouble. So, alright, I'm just gonna leave then. I'm just gonna be done. Because the truth is, I can't make sure that I'm gonna be safe. I can't. I can be safe for myself. Any stunt I've ever done, I never got hurt because of my own faults. I was safe through everything I was doing. I can be safe for myself, but I can't make sure that the other people are going to be safe. Most of the other people were safe, but that one guy was clearly not safe on many different accounts. Multiple different accounts. So, there's nothing left for me to do but to leave. That's the only conclusion I can come to is, you're not safe, and there's nothing I can do about it, and you guys are dicks about the whole situation, so how about I just leave? I'm done. So that's what I did. So yeah, that's why I have to drop it, I have to be done with it, because simply, they are unsafe, they do not care about my safety, they do not respect me or my wishes, and they don't want to hear me say anything. They just want me to shut up, get kicked in the face, get injured, whatever, and just take it. I'm not gonna stand for that. So, yeah, that's what happened, and I don't want to end it on too much of a negative here. I'll say this. I had that match that I talked about in my last video. I did have that match. That was very fun. It was a good time. And I'll definitely say that the experience I had with the wrestling, I definitely could have done things. I definitely proved to myself that I was capable to perform the moves. I was capable to do what was presented in front of me. I was capable to do it, and I definitely could have put on matches and been a part of some things. I could have done it. The only reason I'm not gonna end up doing it is just because a couple of jackasses are running things, but I could have done it. I'm gonna have to just take that and be done with that. It's a shame it went down that way, but hey, I had a little bit of fun with that match, and, well, I had a lot of fun with that match. It's just a little fun overall. Yeah. Just gonna have to walk away from it. And I'll have a little fun here. Be a little juicy here. Have a little bit of the juice here, and I'll say, it's a little interesting. A little bit of tea here for you. See, one of the people I was wrestling with me, one of the people training in the wrestling with us, was the shitty instructor's daughter. The big boss's daughter. And I don't have anything against her. She was talented, she was good. I'm not saying anything negative about her. But the reason I'm bringing her up is because she happened to be best friends with the guy that kicked me in the face. Interesting detail there. So, this guy that was unsafe, got people hurt, and never answered for any of these problems, just happened to be buddy-buddy with the boss's daughter. How interesting is that? I guess it really is the wrestling world there. I guess it really is taking inspiration from the wrestling world there. Well, WWE got rid of their Vince McMahon. Maybe Texas All-Star Wrestling should get rid of their Vince McMahon. Alright. Hope you guys are doing well. This is just me bitching the whole time. Sorry about that. Don't let people ruin things for you. You guys have talent. You guys are good. Don't let people push you around and all that. People have great potential. Don't let people tell you different. Make McChickens, not war. If you smell the McChickens or something, I was going for something there. Thanks for watching.